welcome to another video where we're going to take a look at the differences between CK2 and CK3. In the last video we looked at things that CK2 did better than CK3. All of them were about the UI. Hopefully they'll all be added in with content patches over time. But for this video we're going to look at things that CK3 does better than CK2. Fair note, we're not going to touch things like the way of life, you know, things that where they completely reworked from CK2. We're going to look at UI or basic premises. First thing we're going to look at is the tutorial. So if you ever played CK2, you know the tutorial was a hot mess, especially if you played it after the game had been out for 2, 3, 4 years because things had changed. Well, quite different here in CK3 where the tutorial actually walks you through everything. And there's pop-ups in pop-ups, which we'll talk about later, but this tutorial is gold. It marks on the, you have to do things. Oh, wait, I can't just click next. I have to place my cursor over the highlighted text and then hover over the next highlighted phrase. Oh, good job. Wow, this is so cool. I mean, it's great. And it boxes out. It highlights where you're supposed to go and where you're supposed to look. This is a great tutorial, and it's really, really opened the game to new players because it explains things, unlike CK2, which gave you walls of text and kind of threw you in and confused people. And I was very confused the first time I played it. So good job, CK3. You've done an amazing job here. All right, number 2 is very similar. It's the tooltips. In CK2, we had tooltips. They were great. But here in CK3, we have tooltips within tooltips. I can go realm. Oh, what's a ruler? Oh, what's a title? Oh, what's a kingdom? Oh, what's de jure mean? Ooh, who's the holder? Oh, what's an empire? Oh, what are vassals? Ooh, what are obligations? Ooh, what's government form? I can keep going. I can pretty much go for forever in a big long circle. It's amazing. It really is useful because if you don't study history or if you're unfamiliar with this time period, a lot of these terms and phrases you may not understand, or you may not understand how the game uses them. And so tooltips make the game so accessible to new players while also not turning away older, more experienced players. Number 3, multiplayer. And yes, I know currently right now there's issues with servers and hosting larger games, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about UI. So I'm here even in the tutorial, and let's skip a lesson, make that go away. Thank you. Okay, yeah, it's giving me another lesson. Good for you. But you hit escape, and you can open any game for multiplayer right here. I can totally go in and go, oh yeah, let's make a private game with the password of Bob. Oh yeah, auto accept hot joins. Cool. We're good. Let's play. Now the tutorial is multiplayer. You can do that from anything. And then you can always still go back and look at the lobby. You can copy paste that. Like, this whole multiplayer setup is glorious. And it shows you what mods are enabled and what DLCs are enabled. It's great. It's absolutely great. I love it. Number 4 is observer mode. So in CK2, you could only enter observer mode in multiplayer, and there could only be one observer. And for observer mode in CK2, it's broken. If you are the observer and you tab onto someone else's character, you go, oh, control, and I'm looking at him and I get pop-ups about him, you could change and affect things. If you want to see a demonstration of that, you can check out a video, which I'm going to link up at the top, where I did that on stream to several of my subscribers and Patreons and totally confused them. Or there's another series by Radio Res where I taught him to play CK2. And you can totally see me changing and affecting things as an observer by accident every time I was tabbed in. CK3, observer mode, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I can go around. I can look at different dudes. This is you. I'm a dishonorable antagonist. I can see everything about him. And then I can just click that little X and I'm back to observer and I can see the whole map without anything. And you can enter in single player. So good job with observer mode, guys. Number 5 is sort of similar. So let's say I'm playing in observer mode and I'm just sort of watching and I'm like, you know what? This dude over here in Ruthenia, he looks really cool. I think I want to play him. I can hit escape. I can hit switch character. It takes me back here to this lovely little lobby. I can click on Ruthenia and I can play as him. Boom! I can do that at any time. It also works for multiplayer. So if you die, you can totally just jump in and play a character. Number 6. We are number 6, right? I'm not missing a number. I don't think I'm missing a number. But number 6 is the actual UI when everything is closed. I know in my other video I complained about, when you open everything. But here, when the UI is closed, your view is very unobstructed. Everything is very streamlined. Your pop-ups, your info about your currencies, your different tabs over here, everything's very small and easy to find. Down here, you can easily open up your house. You can open up your religion. You can open up your culture. It's just very, very easy. You can open up your way of life, your lifestyle. It's all just very easy to access, and it's quite lovely. Number 7 would be character traits. So in CK2, if you've ever seen, character traits, they get very bunched up. It wasn't quite so bad after Holy Fury and they reworked how the character sheet looks, but it still got very hard if you had an especially long-lived character. Now, though, you only have 3 primary stats. It's very easy to see how someone will react because they are a shy, temperate, vengeful person. So they're not going to go out and talk to you, but if you cross them, they're going to murder you. And they don't go into excess. So, they'll only murder you once. They don't have to murder you twice. That's all they need to do. It's just very easy. It's also very easy to check to see how many troops. The whole layout of this here is very nice. Okay, number 8 has to do with the pluses here. So you have 35 claims, and it shows you some, but rather than bunching them up and completely making it impossible to click on one, which is something that CK2 did, you can just click and you can scroll through them all. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And you can do that. You have more than 8 children or 7 children? 7 children, sorry. More than 7 children. You can click here and you can get more of them. If you have, that's siblings actually. If you have more than that children, everything. Well, these ones aren't so much. But let's say you had a whole bunch of rivals. You could click that button there and have them pop up and you can see them more easily. In CK2, they just clumped up. It was impossible to see it. If you had 20 kids, which the lovely Denmark king did in the 1066 start, good luck finding a kid in there because it's going to be impossible. Number 9 is the encyclopedia in the game. Click down here. Look at this. I can see everything. What are the different laws? What do they mean? And of course, they all have tooltips inside of tooltips. So you can find everything in the game. You're not on the internet? That's fine. You don't need to go to the wiki. You can totally find all the information in here. It's amazing. I love it. All right. So number 9 is something that technically was in CK2, but it was locked behind a DLC, which, I guess it's 2 things really, because they're both locked behind DLC, and they're both great because they're actually here UI in the base game. One is rally points. Rally points were locked behind Jade Dragon, which was very frustrating. It's actually part of the reason I bought Jade Dragon early on. That was before I was streaming. But was just for rally points, which, UI changes like that, such big game makers should not be locked behind DLC. Not if you want your fan base to like you. The other one is your prisoners. So here's our prisoners tab. There they are. I can sit there and I can tell them to be executed. I can negotiate release. I can release them for gold or for a favor. But you can actually mass do that. I come down here and I can mass release all characters. I can say, I really don't want to release this countess, so let's uncheck her and then we'll just do a mass release for everybody else. That's 4 characters. Granted, this only pops up if you have 5 or more people in your prison, but the fact it's not locked behind a DLC, I don't even know which DLC it was locked behind in CK2. But it was locked behind one of them. And it's in the base game now. It's great. All right, here we go. Last one. The most important change between CK2 and CK3, WASD. I can move around the map very easily without using my mouse. It's glorious. It's lovely. Best change brought to CK3. Hands down. A+. Thank you, developers. We love it. It's the best. And yeah. That's it for my 10. And there were 10 things that I think CK3 does much better than CK2. It does not touch on the big changes like lifestyles, which I think most of us can agree that the lifestyles in CK3 are much better than the way of life in CK2. But that's something they really focused on. For here, I just wanted to touch on the minor things, the little things, the things that maybe if you are not an experienced CK2 player, you may not even realize were changed or added in. Yes, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. Tell me What do you think are the best changes brought to CK3 from CK2? Did I miss something that's your favorite? Let me know. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.